All right. So mental health.
Yeah. So like I was thinking about how that I mean right now at this time of the season with Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, I mean like I've been seeing a lot of people that are, like on social media platforms, some of them which have a really strong following, mentioning in their TikTok videos and stuff that, they're struggling with their emotions and depression and stuff. And this is like married couples
Yeah.
together that have come out of recovery, or in recovery or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, we had such a lineup of ideas for things we wanted to put on the show and all that stuff. And then we skipped this last week with, giving everybody a chance to focus on their family and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like that, we need to this was all about being raw and real. And this was all about us talking about, where we really are emotionally and mentally in our mental health. And I got to admit, like the last couple of weeks has been really tough. I've called you a couple times and told you that I'm struggling, and I know you have been too.
Yeah.
And, I just,
It's,
it doesn't matter how much, like, it's funny because it's like we are so, I don't want to, I'm not like tooting my own horn here. We're really good at giving other people advice, but following
right.
your own advice is like a really, like, if we're being real with ourselves, it's tough, like it's really tough because you spend all this time focusing on like pumping everybody up and keeping them encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is like who's encouraging us? And I don't mean to sound like, man, I'm crying. But you know what I'm saying? Like for real though, sometimes we do have to call each other and lift each other up, because I mean, I had one of my friends that texted me yesterday, late last night, and she texted me. She's like, "You okay?"
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of friends that can sense when something's wrong because my communication, either by text or email or whatever, just goes down
Yeah.
because I start to go into this little zone of my own, and I don't really want to share where I'm at emotionally. And like you and I, like whether or not we want to admit it, it's like there's times that and I know there's like a lot of men and women out there probably goes through this as a family, or a business owner or whatever. It's that sense that you have to be the strong one and you can't really like show your whole journey, or you're not the one that's tough. You're not the one that's able to keep everybody propped up, and the reality is that we're just as weak and just struggle just as much with mental health as the next person,
Right.
because recovery is a never ending journey. You'll always be struggling with that,
Right.
and that's, I don't know, like I just felt like I wanted to have a conversation about that and be open about that. And it's honestly kind of tough. I mean, tougher than I thought it would be
Well,
to verbalize that.
I mean, when you had decided, or or just pitched the idea of just let's just have a mental health discussion. I mean, it instantly clicked. Like, yeah, that's what we need to do. Because I was coming up with different ideas, and I've been struggling with episode 10. Of course, we got the idea of the Holy Trinity and and talking to people who have dealt with overdose and stuff like that. So I've been
Mhm.
really focused on trying to bring people in and make that a heartfelt show, and it kind of like got, I don't want to say getting away, but it's like I ran into a kind of like a roadblock. Like, before you do episode 10, man, you guys need to do something that's going to be like show your vulnerable side. I was telling you that the other day, like, and that's why I was trying to come up with, an idea. Maybe we could write something. Maybe we could, read some poems or something. But when you said this, and let's talk about mental health, I was like, that's it. Because I truly was about to say, hey man, let's just hold off one more week. But I even last week, man, it's funny because like I felt your energy.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like I had the same energy. Like we both felt drained. Mental health and anxiety and things that you deal with in regards to mental health will drain you. And if you don't work on your mental health, if we don't work on our mental health, we're no good for anybody that's listening to us. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're just trying to force things, but we're over here, in our mind and in our heart, just struggling with our own demons. We have to be able to of course be honest and be open with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, we got to be honest and open with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm truly thankful because I mean the Recovering Addict has opened my eyes to how many people actually struggle with mental health and addiction. With the social media, with Facebook and Instagram and all of these platforms that we have, like we have a following now, and we're following people who are speaking the same language in regards to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got to give ourselves a pat on the back, but at the same time, we definitely have to do things like what we're doing right now, because it's gonna. I believe the audience will latch on to discussions like this.
I agree. I mean, I feel like that this is the hardest part of the whole journey of recovery, no matter what stage you're in, no matter what it is that your struggle might be, whatever the addiction is. The mental side of it is the hard part because it's not tangible. Like as a recovering addict, okay, I'm not going to pick up the phone and I'm not going to call this guy that I know that happens to have some pills, or and I'm going to stay away from the alcohol section at the store, or what I mean, or got a food addiction, I'm not going to go down the sweets aisle, or whatever it is. If I'm a gambler, then I'm definitely not going to get in my car and go down to take a couple hour drive to a casino. Those are tangible things that you say no to yourself, and it's like, okay, I'm following through with this. But the mental health side is that it's that dragon that you can't slay because it's constantly in your head. Mm-hmm. And it's like this like thing that you don't realize even that it's sneaking up on you. It's just there all the time, and you're always warring with it. And half the time, unless you stay in a constant state of self-awareness of your struggle, you will get down off of that no matter what, because it's always that constant war. And I think about the elements that actually causes that to become a problem is a lot of the time reflection. Like lately I've been struggling a lot with reflection on my life as I've gotten older. I'm almost 40 years old, and I've looked at my past and the failures that I've had, and then I look at the past of I've been married before, and I've used to be able to prepare for the holidays with my wife, and used to do a lot of gift opening with the family. And I remember, there was a time most of my family lived in Texas, and now they've all kind of like moved away except for a few of them. There's these elements of things that you can certainly let yourself go down, pity party lane and really dwell on the fact that, oh my gosh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I used to have this and I don't have that, or I made these bad decisions and now look at me. financial decisions that have landed me in some struggles as well. Those kinds of things. It's like if you sit there and dwell and reflect on your failures instead of keeping that positive outlook, you can accidentally do that by not even realizing it, because it's easy to relapse into bad thinking more harder. It's a lot harder to notice that you're relapsing in bad thinking versus relapsing in the tangible aspects of going in and getting yourself a substance. You know what I'm saying? Because like mental health is a battle that's really hard to see. Like it's a struggle. If I'm being real about it.
Nah, it's I think a lot of times, and with certain people, it is more dangerous than addiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially things like depression and stuff like that. And I am one for people who struggle with depression and stuff like that. I am one to say, listen, go find a psychiatrist who is going to help you and prescribe you something that may help with that. We've already talked about that before, but I only got a little bit of anxiety. There are people really out there that wake up every morning and go to sleep every night and have that dark shadow of depression just following them everywhere they go. So me, when I look in the mirror, and I actually activated this yesterday, and I'm gonna try to see if I can explain what's in my head. So I've been struggling with I think it's social anxiety, especially trying to move forward with my recovery. I mean, because I like to go out, man. I like to go out, have a good time. I'm single. I like to go out. So being in an environment where everybody's drinking and trying not to drink, because I know what will happen if I do drink, it's tough. And those things continue while I'm out and hanging with people. It's just constantly in my mind, constantly. Like, what is this? How does this person looking at you right now? What do they think about you not drinking? What if you just have one drink? And there's so much just going on in my mind. And when I I've been doing pretty good dealing with it. When I see myself in the mirror, I realize that I am a much better, vibrant person when I don't worry about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we put so much pressure on ourselves. You and I, especially with the recovering addict or addicts and people with mental health, we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect.
Right.
To be perfect. And we fear the relapse. We fear, me personally, I fear going back down that road. So it's always just picking at me. But yesterday, I let it go. It was crazy, man. If you talk to my homie Cecil and a couple other friends that we were that I was hanging with it, like it was just like I told myself, and I'm not going to go into why I told myself I was going to just let it go, because it was something that happened that just like clicked and like, nah, bro, you just need to be free. Now you put too much pressure on yourself. Just go be free. You're recovering addict. Just go be free. Don't worry about all that stuff. You know, with people watching you, and if you slip and have a drink, don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Free. And when I activated that, bro, man, I felt like the young Richard that had that charisma. I had texted my daughter. I said, "Baby, I used to have so much charm, but I feel like the charm had it got pushed deep down because of my my always worrying about how people are perceiving me, how people are feeling me, if that makes sense. So I let all that go. I was like, man, I'm not gonna worry about all that. I'm gonna smile. I'm going to smile, and I'm going to have a good time the way I have a good time. I'm not gonna. And I had a great time last night. I had a great time, really good time. Like I was in my like just having a good time in my zone. Didn't get drunk, nothing, just a great time. But yeah, but I mean, that's a one-time thing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I can go to a store right now, a mall right now, and then all of a sudden, bam, it just hits me again. That it's, that mental health, just trying to be perfect for myself. How they looking at me? Do I got a booger in my nose? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's wild because you think about like, and everybody's a little different, but you and I are built a lot the same. We're both writers. We've written books and scripts and plays and all that kind of stuff. And so we're all about the wording on stuff. So our mind tends to gravitate to epiphany moments. We tend to get those like aha moments a lot, and we tend to put that into our work as well.
Right.
And that's not a daily walk of life. That's like a moment in time. And so if we don't remember those epiphany moments, it's like that's working for us in that moment. But the daily grind of life, you can easily lose grip on those good things you're supposed to constantly keep in your focus.
Mm-hmm.
We're not perfect. We are weak. We're human, and we're constantly in a war against the fight of life, the fight of the recovery, the fight of everything. And I find that when the heat gets turned up on our work life, our responsibilities for the organization and the podcast and social media and keeping up with all of it, and then answering emails and text messages and making sure that we're making ourselves available to people and to each other. It's like, oh my God, it's so much. And I actually run other social media platforms for completely different things, and I pretty much have stepped away from that. I knew I had to cut it off for a while. I mean, they probably wonder where the heck I'm at. I've got thousands and thousands of people that follow me, and I don't post as much as I used to. I've got a couple videos here and there, but it's frustrating because there's times that I just, in my mind, I know what I need to do. And then there's a difference between needing to do it, knowing you need to do it, and actually activating that.
Right.
And saying, okay, I'm going to go do this. I mean, it's strange. There's some days that I get into deep depression and I get into this mind where I'm like, something as simple as jumping in my truck and going to my post office box that's only a 7 to 10 minute drive away sounds like something that is just going to exhaust the hell out of me, and it's like, wow, that little thing, like that's how bad it gets. It gets that bad where I'm like, I'll go to my kitchen and look to see if I have anything to eat here instead of knowing I should go ahead and get something that's going to be better for my body. food wise. And if I think I'm going to have to take 5 minutes more to go do that, I go, nah, I'm just going to find something I can throw in the microwave. I mean, when you get in that mode where you are just like so wiped out and so completely drained, you don't want to do nothing, and I realized that's mental health, really. That's mostly all focused on mental health, because you may not be throwing back the bottle, you may not be doing a line, but you're just as useless if you're not keeping your mental health in place, because your body is like, hey, we need to get going. Your mind says, hey, I know I need to do that, but I'm so depressed right now, I can't even move. And a lot of times too, and I'm sure there's a lot of listeners out there that would agree with this, a lot of times you can't even identify what it is that is causing you to feel that way. You just feel blah, and I think that's probably even more frustrating, because I'm a solutions kind of person. I'm the type of person that's like, tell me what's wrong, let me know what's wrong, I'll fix it. And when you can't figure out what's wrong first, it's like you were saying about going to that therapist, sometimes you almost have to have somebody help you draw that out. I remember the other day you called me and, out of the blue, and you're like, hey, you talked to me and you were encouraging me. I didn't even know I needed that conversation. Like, you basically went down a review with me of the stuff that I had accomplished, the stuff we'd done together, the stuff that you recognized, the things that I was able to do. And I didn't realize how badly I needed that conversation. I mean, you almost put me into tears. And it was like, wow, like, where did that come from? And I don't know that I need that sometimes. Like, it's wild, like, because you get so inner focused on life, you don't even realize what's going on with you until somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, by the way, I can sense something's wrong. And you go, wait a minute, what? And then it dawns on you, I gotta refocus here. It's wild.
Yeah, I try to challenge myself to put the people who deserve to be first, in my life first, if that makes sense. And I understand that, like I was telling you, I understand how important you are, not only to my life, but to the recovering addict. And we can spend all day trying to encourage, our audience.
Right.
But if I'm not putting you first and your mental health, my mental health first, then, you know what I'm saying? It's some things that's just going to be underneath the table that I don't want to address it later on. You know what I'm saying? So, like, nah. Right now, at this particular moment, me and Brandon, we're gonna have a discussion so we can be on the same page. And I felt, and I was thankful that my daughter was sitting right there whenever I had called you, because I want to be able to pass that down to her, for her to see a genuine love for a friend, and know how to encourage them the right way.
Yeah.
Even, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I felt like you needed it. I felt like you needed to see that, like, you're always talking about different perspective, to see.
Yeah, I did.
How we see you. I felt like you needed that. You know what I'm saying? And in return, it helps me. It helps my mental health. It helps my I don't know what the word is. It just basically it helps me to be able to say, all right, man, to be able to speak into you, You know what I'm saying? It just bigs me up. I want my brother. I want my brother. I want my family. I want my loved ones, my friends, and even even people that I don't know. The goal for me or my life is to empower people and to encourage them to do what they want to do in this particular life, to recover and be the best person that they can be. That is just, so it starts with you. It starts with my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers before the Recovering Addict podcast, before that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just thankful to be able to do that. I'm getting to the point now where I realize what helps me is not somebody calling and encouraging me, because I'm always, a lot of times thinking, not always, but a lot of times I'm always, thinking bad about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you, like I haven't lived up to my full potential. But I understand helping somebody, pushing somebody, loving somebody, that is actually when I'm activating my full potential. So that helps me. I am reciprocating that love that I share into somebody, because that is who I'm supposed to be. So I don't need somebody to call me and say, Richard, man, I love you and you're this and I'm proud of you. And that's my mom, man. My mom would tell you, whenever she says, I'm so proud of you. And I just say, oh, well, I ain't done nothing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. That's not one of my 5 love languages. I don't need,
you don't need words of affirmation.
I don't need words of affirmation, man. You know what I'm saying? I just need somebody to be there. And
someday your wife is going to be so confused. She'll be like, man, this dude cannot take a compliment for nothing.
I can't, man. I'm always proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I got to get better at too. I'm not saying that's just the way I should be. You know what I'm saying? But I found.
But it's just where you are right now. At least you have a self-awareness of that. I mean, that's real, and that's all you can ask for. Like
that's it.
And I was just thinking about what you said. We got to be in a right place, and honestly, that's the truth. Like, I don't want to just talk about the journey of recovery. I don't want to just pick up topics that have a sizzle to them. I want us to be able to kind of let our raw life be out in front of everybody, because honestly, this, like, it's like we constantly tell our listeners, you are not alone.
Right.
And I hope that the thousands of people that have started to connect to us now, this may sound a bit cheesy, but I hope that they would say to us that we're not alone either, because we understand we're walking this out as a group. This is a family. This is how this is. And we are definitely, we have to be able to stay filled up in our reservoir of good mental health, good emotional health, and have those chances for us to recharge our batteries sometimes. When we say, hey, we're going to not have an episode this week, we obviously don't want anybody to feel disappointed or let down, because we also don't want to just leave somebody stranded with their journey, especially if they're waiting every Sunday going, hey, I was hoping to, get some encouragement. It's like some people, when they go to church, they feel like they have got to be there that every Sunday because they feel like they need to recharge their batteries. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody, and some people, they're like, I have to get to the gym. If I miss a couple days in the gym, I feel yuck. I knew people like that I've worked with in the past where they're like, man, if I don't get to the gym, I'm out of sorts. And so, I realize there's people that get routines and that actually helps them. And so I don't want to let anybody down in that aspect either. But at the same time, I just want to be real with everybody and let them know, hey, look, we're always in this journey and we're always struggling. And we're not just, these guys sitting on a pedestal, with our mics and telling you, hear you, these are the things you got to go do, to get yourself straightened out. No, it ain't like that. We are just here to talk out life, go into the real of what we do. And hopefully along the way encourage some people because we're being real. You know, that's the goal.
Yeah, I think not think I know that's we're doing that. You don't watch the interaction on Facebook or Instagram too much. I know you got the TikTok, and I other ones.
Got a TikTok? Yes, I wouldn't recommend it.
Tickety talk is like I call it my daughter. But the interaction that we get on the other platforms, Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, is so welcoming, man. And it is motivation. You know, every time somebody texts or comments on the actual show that day, or even just reach out to us and ask, if we're a sinner. We get that all the time. We get like 4 or 5 questions a day now, with people asking, what services do we provide, or and it's to not be able to offer anything more than a support, being a support system. It's kind of it's a little tough, because there are real addicts that like really reach out to us.
Yeah.
I mean, this and they go into it.
Right.
I mean, and so,
and that almost drives the point home of, not want to say the point home, but the self-reflection for us, because we sat there and go, well, have we done enough? Have we done enough? Because there's always it's that gauge in our head going, what else do I need to go out and hurry up and do to get these people help? And even though that's not really on us, we still tend to take it upon ourselves because we do care, you know. And it's like it's honestly, that position kind of gets discouraging sometimes, even though we're working on it right now. We can't snap our fingers and make it happen quickly. I wish we could, but like, I just hope that those that listen and listen in, and I'm sure they do, but I hope they understand that we are moving at a breakneck speed. We are, you guys don't see it, but we have meetings that go on for hours sometimes, talking about, organization and the business side of it, and, the planning of it. And it's just, but these things can take literally years, and it's like, there's these like moments of reflection in your own personal time where you're like, oh my gosh, I know there's so many people right now that would be they're just longing for help right now. And so it's like, what else can we do? And I guess we started out with what we knew we could do immediately, which was the podcast,
Right.
But it still doesn't change that sense of direction in our minds and our hearts, that we sit there and we say, we want to do more. We definitely want to do more, and we're working towards that. But unfortunately, the listeners have to wait till we can get to that point. We're all about people getting involved with helping us too, if they want. But we understand everybody is, going through a journey themselves. So we don't expect people to soldier up with us. That's, if they don't have that calling, that's okay. We just want them to at least stay in contact with us. That's ultimately what we ask for. But, I mean, I don't know. I think we have definitely talked about what we need to talk about today. I don't want it to be super long. I just,
man, I'm feeling it.
We had this conversation though, because I needed to get that off my chest.
Yeah, I'm feeling this. As a matter of fact, I think we should do more of this. At least once a month.
Yeah.
We put the video down and we just, what I'm saying, and just shed. You know what I'm saying? Because we put a structure together. with every episode,
Mhm.
and try to, you know, stick to that format because it's still a show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a show. So we have to, you know, you know, keep that outline and go by that outline. But this right here, what we're doing right now, is probably more powerful than any show that we could ever
Right.
do, because it is showing our vulnerability,
Yeah.
and it is putting the ball in our audience court now, if that makes sense. When somebody says the ball is in your court, you see what I'm saying? It's basically saying, guys, you know, we're struggling and hurting just like you.
Yeah.
So don't don't leave us out of your encouragement list. Encourage us sometime. Send us a message. Hey man, thank you so much. You know, and we love you guys. And I mean, we need it.
Yeah, we do.
Once again, go back to what I said. I act like I don't need it. I act like I don't need words of affirmation. But I act like it. But to know that we're you know, for people to say, hey man, you're doing the right things, and you know, keep going. That right there is needed for the show. That is needed for our future. You know what I'm saying? To know, and people to tell us, hey, keep going forward. Because if people don't tell us that, if people don't like it, if people don't comment, if they don't do those things, then we're just, you know, we're in our mind, because we struggle with mental health. In our mind, we're like, damn, are we reaching them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We need to know that we are reaching our audience. You know,
Right.
so yeah, good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's see what comes next week. You know, we'll announce that, and of course we'll try to get it out on all the social media.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I definitely felt like this needed to be a day of just reflection and discussion. So thank you guys for listening in. It's not the normal format, but hopefully you guys, hopefully you feel us on what we're going through, and you know, we would love to hear from you. By the way, as well, I just would like to see, you know, if anybody wants to send, if those of you listening want to send a 1 minute testimonial video of of your journey, if you can keep it to 1 minute, you know, 3 minutes max, because with your permission, please put a note in there with your permission. If you do give us permission to share it on social media. We'd like to tell some of your stories. You know, they will be pre-screened and all that, but you can send it to the recoveringaddictlife@gmail.com. And that way we can get a chance to hear your stories and hopefully share your stories. We'll put it on our platforms if, you know, if it's approved, and try not to put too many, there's personal details of people's names, full names and stuff like that. Keep that out. We don't want to put anybody out there, you know, if they don't want to be involved. But we would love to hear, and that would actually encourage Rich, I know for sure, because we don't want to just, we love to see letters, we love to see the emails, but to be able to see your face and to feel that emotion would be so awesome, you know. And it would really feel a lot more interactive. We would love to hear from you. So
yeah, we started to upload a few videos. We got 3, me, you, the Hope Dealer, Mr. Hope Dealer. Shout out to the Hope Dealer.
what's up?
Shout out to Mr. Warren Garrett and
Yep.
And everybody who's been on the Recovering Addict. But we've been starting to upload them, and we're getting, some people are you know, sending their particular story via email, you know, just writing it in a text, and that's fine too. If you want to write it in a text and you give us your permission to go through that particular go through your story for you on the actual show, that is fine too. Of course, we would love a video, but however you feel comfortable sharing your story with us, please do it. And it is needed. It's needed for us, and it is needed for your brothers and sisters out here in this recovery journey that we're in. So thank you guys for listening, and I think we're good, huh, bro?
Yeah, we're good. All right, guys, y'all have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you next week.